we've got a problem. Corporations are commoditizing our attention spans and selling them to the highest bidder. They are measuring our screen time and figuring out what apps are the most addictive and how do they make them harder to turn off and put away. This is not being done in order to spread prosperity and make the world a better place. It's not even being done because it is a cool new invention that helps people and does something that is worthwhile in the world. Corporations have figured out that the one thing that is most valuable is our time. And they're trying to suck it all away endlessly. This has moved beyond selling a product that you use in order to enjoy your time in life. They are actively making products that make our lives worse. And by the time you put your phone down after a doom scrolling session, you walk away and feel like you have accomplished nothing. You don't even feel relaxed because relaxation is counter to corporations' goals to keep you sucked in. Not only that, these algorithms create a bubble that only feeds you exactly the information that you're used to and accustomed to hearing. When it comes to making the world a better place, a more interesting place to live our lives, these addictive, attention-sucking apps and technologies need to face significant regulations. We need to do a better job at making sure that children grow up without these endless streams of attention-sucking content. Long-form content is a great way to do that. But beyond that, we need to regulate what tech companies are allowed to put out and make sure that they are not creating garbage products that make the world a worse place. For the same reason that advertising towards children for certain products like tobacco and sugary cereal is no longer allowed because children are malleable and will get sucked in easier because they don't have the proper defense mechanisms in place yet in order to make a critical decision that will affect their long-term health. We need to revamp and revitalize our efforts to prevent children from being overstimulated by all of this garbage on every streaming platform. It is not good enough to say that a family and a household is responsible for regulating the content that their children consume. So many families are struggling with the bare minimum of just getting through the day. Parents work multiple jobs. It is an extreme luxury for a parent to have enough time to be there for their kids as they grow up on a regular basis in this terrible society that we've put together. In order to protect ourselves, our kids, our friends, our family, our loved ones, It is important to make sure that corporations that are only feasible because they operate within a society do not tarnish and destroy the foundations of the societies that they operate in. There is such a thing as government overreach, but the government is not doing anything right now, to the point that corporations are overreaching. I don't think there is such thing as a perfect actor. I know a lot of people are against government oversight, but here's the thing. If you don't have some overseeing body that has the public's best interest as their core focus, the only thing we're left with is corporations that have the only goal of making their shareholders richer, to set the precedent and establish how society operates. Corporations put the shareholder first, no matter what. In the United States, they're legally obligated to. When you hear about what some of these companies calculate out, it is truly horrendous. Certain companies make statistical analyses to figure out just how many of their customers have to die before they will remove a product or recall it, because it can be cheaper to allow people to die and pay for the lawsuits than to recall a whole line of automobiles that were made incorrectly. Our society is built off of the principle that by working together, we are all better off. By giving up individual liberties of might is right, or built through might is right, we instead establish greater overall human rights out of the prosperity that working together brings for everyone. We are in a symbiotic system that relies on everyone coming together to make the world a better place tomorrow than it was today. It is okay to set standards and regulations for what is permissible in a society that is working together as a team. Especially when you have bad actors that are trying to hoard these resources as if it is an equal sums game. As if them having $1 more is because they took it from us. What these hyper-capitalistic systems fail to recognize or fail to operate with any sort of clarity about is that their temporary profit destroys the fundamental foundation of what allowed them to exist in the first place. It is okay to work hard in order to make yourself better, in order to make yourself money. It is great to make a company that is profitable and delivers a product that other people need or just want. But if the only goal of your product is to harvest our attention, our data, and sell it to the highest bidder, and get out before the house you lit on fire burns down because you got yours, that's not acceptable. And it's okay to stop others from doing that. It's happened in the past. We have anti-monopoly rules in our legal system, specifically because it's recognized that when companies become too powerful, they will never serve the public's interest because their primary goal is profit, not societal benefit. That is why having government regulations is okay, because the government, when operating as it should, is built to maintain societal good. I'm not saying that's happening right now. A big portion of the reason that's not happening, though, is because we have allowed corporations to invest in our politicians. There's another place that we need to regulate better. I think that we are all in this together. And if you made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe and comment. Tell me what your opinions are about this. I really am optimistic that we are just seeing a time in history right now where corporations are taking steps too far, but we as a public are aware of that, and the pendulum will swing the other way. We need to come together in order to fix the problems that rampant capitalism is creating so that we create a better society for everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.